Welcome back, students. Today we are going to study conversational style, which is one of the most important topics of your Stylistics English 321. And today we are going to see that how conversational style matters and how we can conduct a stylistic analysis of different styles related to conversations. So let's move towards the topic. You must be thinking that why we are discussing conversational styles. It is such an ordinary topic that you may feel which is not in the need of any more elaboration. But still, if we are going to deal with it, it means that it has a lot to do with stylistics. Whenever we are going to conduct a stylistic analysis, so what we will do, we will analyze some given text or some given text of speech, poem, drama, play, or any given text. So when you have to deal with the analysis, you have to understand all about its styles. So how you will deal with the styles? By analyzing the level of informality, the purpose of the text, the level of audiences or the readers, the context, the background. Everything matters when you are dealing stylistic analysis. So the most important thing is to understand the style, and by style we mean the way a person talks, and the way a person talks is called conversational style. So by definition, conversational style in stylistics refers to the unique way individuals communicate in spoken interactions. Conversation strictly means spoken interactions between people, such as conversations, dialogues, or especially in informal settings. It involves analyzing the linguistic features and patterns that categorize spoken language and understanding how speakers adapt their language use based on the context, participants, and social norms. We do not talk in the same manner in all the situations, with all the people, in all the social conditions. We can switch and change our style based on the situation and context and with the people we are talking to or we are having a conversation with. We choose the style according to all of these things. So conversational style is a dynamic and flexible mode of communication in which you can switch forth and forward, and studying it provides valuable insights into the nature of human language and social interaction. So basically, the study of conversational style is not only the talking style, but it is the study of nature of human language and social interaction, that how it goes on. Let's have little details on the conversational styles, especially in stylistics. There are certain things which you will find in conversational styles, especially if the discourse is between people, you will see that there is a level of informality. It is typically more casual and less formal than written language because conversation is not much rule bound. Speakers often use contractions, smaller versions of their words or phrases, colloquial expressions, and informal vocabulary. They are not bound the way they are bound in written language. They can use such expressions which are more casual. They can diverge from using grammatical rules because they are talking, and while you are talking you cannot take care much about the grammatical rules. When you speak, it is spontaneous, it is with the flow. So there is informality. Secondly, you can find ellipses. What is ellipses? In conversations, speakers may omit certain words or phrases if the meaning is clear from the context. Sometimes you do not mention the whole thing because you assume that the message has already been delivered. This is known as ellipsis, which contributes to the fluidity of spoken language, the flow of spoken language. Another concept which you can find or which you can understand is back channeling, which means listeners often provide feedback to the speaker through back channeling, like yeah, or nodding, indicating that they are actively engaged in the conversation. It is very important when somebody is talking to you. Sometimes you do not answer in the words, but you just fill the gaps by just saying yeah, huh. So such words are called back channeling. Repair strategies are used to correct misunderstandings or to clarify information. This can involve repeating. You can repeat what you say, you can repeat, rephrasing, or asking for clarification. When you assume that the thing has not been conveyed correctly, you can repeat yourself. Or if you do not understand what the other person is saying, you may ask, like, excuse me. These are called repair strategies. You repair that lack of communication, or that lack of bridge, or that lack of understanding. Turn taking is to talk on the turns. How you know that one person has finished and then you have to speak? There are some strategies to understand and to make others understand that it's their turn to speak. So conversations follow a turn-taking pattern where speakers take turns to speak. There are various turn-taking signals, such as pauses. When you stop, then other person feels that it is his or her turn to speak. Then intonation patterns. When normally a person stops, or he or she has finished talking, his or her intonation will comes down. It will come down gradually. And then from intonation, you can assume that now she or he has finished. Then eye contact can also tell about the turns. Then to facilitate smooth transitions between speakers, if there is incompetent use of turn taking, then there is a chance of overlapping, cutting other person. The other feature is conversational implicature. Conversations often involve implicatures, means implying something, assume that something has been conveyed, where speakers imply meanings indirectly when they assume things, then make presumptions. Participants rely on shared knowledge or shared background knowledge and context to understand these implied meanings. Sometimes, or most of the times, you don't have to explain the whole thing. You imply that the other person will have the same shared knowledge. You also see politeness strategies in conversational situations to maintain social harmony and avoid potential conflicts, like hedges, indirect request. If you want to have something done and you are talking to somebody who is higher to your status, so you can request, and they are common in conversational style. You will see examples of all of these things in the later part of this lecture. Cooperative principles. Conversations are guided by cooperative principle, which posits that participants aim to be informative, relevant, truthful, clear in their communication. You have gone through cooperative principles. Number one is to be more informative, to give proper information, to be relevant to the topic, to truthful, and to have a clarity in communication. These principles are called cooperative principles. There is adaptation to context. Conversational style is highly adaptable to different social and cultural context, because it is about conversation, it is about communicating. So one has to be adaptable, one has to be suitable according to different social and cultural situations. Speakers adjust their language use based on factors such as age. When you talk to particular age group, you will talk in a particular way. Sometimes gender is also important. Talking to females and male can also vary in different social context. Then according to social status and to be familiar with their interlocutors, it is important to be more suitable according to the age of a person, to the gender of the person, and the social status. When you are talking to your teachers or your boss, your way of talking will be different. If you are talking to your subordinates, you will talk in a different manner. So that sense of familiarity is always prevalent when you are talking to somebody. All of these things will dominate your conversational style. You can code switch or code mix while talking, especially in multilingual settings when speakers may switch between two languages. They are talking in English and then suddenly they can switch to other language, for example Urdu or Punjabi, or mix elements from different language is called code mixing. To accommodate diverse participants, we will understand this in the later part. Okay. What are the functions of conversational style? It serves various functions, including social bonding. You create social bonds by adapting different conversational styles, expressing emotions, negotiating meanings, conveying social identities. You can create your identity by the way you speak. It facilitates the exchange of information, building rapport and fostering social relationships. What can be the challenges in studying conversational style? What can be difficult? Analyzing the conversational data, if you have collected some data to analyze some sort of conversations, it will require a consideration of the dynamic and ephemeral nature of spoken language, which is always changing. You cannot just apply one situation to the other situation. Once you have collected the data, the next crucial step is to transcribe that data, to write the data in the same manner with the same words, and then later on the next stage is to interpret conversational data that can be subjective, whereas it is very difficult to interpret the data or interpret the conversation or the dialogues the same way the speakers meant it to be. So there can be interruptions while recording that data, overlaps and non-linguistic cues. There can be problems because language is, after all, very subjective. Even if you have collected some data, some conversational data, if you have recorded or you have recorded from a television program, you have recorded some interviews, so even if you have transcribed that data in a very well manner, in the procedure of interpretation you may be subjective. So it can be very challenging to be more truthful, to be more just, or to be more clear and more close to what the speakers meant. Understanding implicit meanings and conversational implicatures often relies on contextual clues. Especially, it is very important to understand context of the conversation, which can be context specific and challenging to pinpoint isolation. So when you are undertaking the research on some conversation, if you are taking it on, you can say, in context, it will be more accurate. But if you are dealing it in isolation, just as a piece of conversation, it is not possible to interpret it in a correct manner. So that can be a challenge for the researcher. Studying conversational style in stylistics help shed light on the intricacies of spoken language and its role in interpersonal communication. It provides valuable insights into the social dynamics for communication and negotiations of meaning and adaptability of language in various real-life contexts. Analyzing conversational style enhances our understanding of language as a dynamic, context-sensitive, and socially embedded system. These are some of the rules when you are especially studying conversational style. Here are some examples of conversational styles which you should be familiar with. Informal greeting, when somebody greets, "Hey, what's up? Not much, just chilling. How about you?" By the words, you can assume that it is informal greeting. Example of ellipses and contractions, how you make your speech shorter. "Did you finish the report?" "Yeah, I finished it yesterday." "You?" So the other person has not asked the whole question. He has contracted his question. Back channeling, "I went to concert last night." "Oh, that sounds fun." Now the expression of "oh" is it means that I also share the same knowledge, or to make some other person feel that you are also equally interested in that conversation. Repair strategies, "I went to the store and I bought some bananas." "Oh, you bought bananas? Nice." So he's trying to clarify that what did he buy. When some information has not been understood completely, so you can clarify about it by asking questions. This is called repair strategies. Turn taking. A, "What did you think of the movie?" B, "It was pretty good. I liked the plot, but the ending was a bit confusing." "I agree. I felt the same way about the ending." So both of these persons have not overlapped each other because they have understood that when their turn starts. Conversational implication means to imply meanings. Person A says, "I can't find my keys." Person B says, "Well, they are probably somewhere around here." Okay. Politeness is also very important. "Could you pass me the salt, please?" he want him to do something for him, so he is not just asking directly to do that thing, he's requesting by asking him that can you do that. The other person says sure, here you go. Code switching. Did you go to bazaar? हाँ, I went to bought some really nice clothes. So the expression हाँ is code switching. It is between Urdu and English, which is called code switching. Shared background knowledge. Remember that time we got lost in the woods? Oh yeah, that was so funny. So they have the shared incident about what they have background knowledge. Expressing emotion, that is also prevalent in normal conversations. I got the job, congratulations, that amazing. These are some of the examples of the exchange of information, emotion, building of social bonds. So these are the main characteristics of conversations. And when you are conducting a research on conversational style, so you will trace all of these things, all of these strategies, all of these elements. So these are the basics of these are the basics you must know before conducting research on stylistics, because in stylistics you are going to analyze and do research on different conversational styles. So if you are taking any study on any text, on any poem, on any speech, you must be familiar with such styles. So that's all for today. Thank you.